So the month of August just ended, and it is time to see how the portfolio actually did. Let's take a look at the portfolio performance, the buys and the sells, and actually did something that I haven't done in quite some time, but I did decide to do it because, well, I figured that it was time to at least start again. You guys will know exactly what I'm talking about once I get to it. But we'll go through the buys and the sells, and lastly, the dividend income, which was a little bit lower than what it was last month, but usually the odd months that aren't March, June, September, December are usually very low. So let's actually get started with the portfolio performance today, and we could see that on August 1st, the portfolio gained. Now, I had to do a double take when I first saw this because I could not believe it. $9,354.59 from August 1st to August 31st. Absolutely crazy. As you guys can see, I did not make any contributions, basically none. All my contributions were practically all the same. Like, I did not make a single meaningful contribution this whole entire month. This was all just capital appreciation. Now, if we actually compare this to the other indices, we can see here that we're comparing this to the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, and the S&P 500. We can see that the portfolio is actually doing better than all of them. That is actually kind of surprising. I was not expecting this at all. We could see that from, August 1st, the portfolio, which is in the blue, has been exceeding all the markets by a decent amount, basically ending the month at 4.21%. The S&P ending at 2.03%, the NASDAQ 1.65%, and the Dow Jones at 3.42%. Now, when it comes to the buys and the sells, there really isn't a lot here. However, you guys can see that I did do some movement when it comes to two companies that I've been holding for quite some time. Now, starting off, we got on August 1st, we got the fact that I bought 10 shares of Nvidia. I bought it at around the price tag of $175.80, and I bought 10 shares of it for about $1,757.95. Also on the first, I decided to buy some 6 shares of QQI for $52 almost, for a total of $311.85. Very, very nice. Now you guys can see that 2 weeks later on August 14th, I decided to sell a covered call. Now, I haven't done this in quite some time, selling a covered call. However, I decided to sell a covered call for Nike at $80 for a strike price expiring on August 29th, which already passed. And as you guys saw, last Friday's closing price, it was significantly below this $80 mark. But I sold this call for $56, and total I made $55.34 after expiration. Now, the following day, I decided to sell a couple of my losers because, as you guys know, I am currently in the process of buying a home, and I really need to offset that $20,000 profit I made with AVGO earlier in the year. I need to offset it one way or another, so that way I'm not getting completely destroyed next year when it comes to taxes. So I'm deciding to sell some of my losers here in the form of CCI. I sold it on the 15th. I sold all of it, guys. And we could see here that I sold it for a price of $101.75. Now, on the same day, I decided to sell all of my Clorox as well. Clorox has been a company that I've had for quite some time, and aside from the dividends, nothing's really much happened. They peaked at COVID for obvious reasons, and then they just went down sub 200 and is hovered around the 120 all the way up to, I think, about 160 or so for the past 4 years. Nothing's really has happened with them, so I decided to sell them. And I do believe, I think I did lose on them. I'm gonna go over exactly the total losses on those two in just 1 second, but the total amount was $2,080.29. Now let's actually see how much I lost with these two losers. We could see that they are right here on the 15th. We got CCI. I lost around 21.07% for about $1,200. Now I can't really click on Clorox right there. However, if we actually scroll down, we can see the loss of Clorox right here, and we can see that Clorox, you guys can see right there, CLX Clorox, lost around $445.83 on that sell. And a lot of you may be saying, wait a minute, you're selling. Doesn't this go against exactly what you promote? Yes and no. Again, I'm not opposed to selling, right? Even Warren Buffett sells. That's not the reason as to why I say don't sell. The reason why I say don't sell is because usually most of the time when people sell, it is panic selling. They sell without having a strategy in mind. They see markets tank and then they think, I'm going to lose all my money. I need to sell so that way I don't lose it all. And then they sell and then markets shoot right back up. And then they're like, oh, I should have bought back it. Exactly. When I sell, it is for strategic purposes. The reason why I sold those two companies is because I'm like, they're my losers. I need to offset those gains one way or another. So you know what? Let me just clean up my portfolio, which I want to do anyways. I'm in the process of doing it. And whenever I find the opportunity to do so, I decide to sell. So it's not the same reason. Again, selling isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just the reason as to why you sell. But with that said, let's actually move into now the dividends, because this is the one that I'm fairly certain a lot of people would like to see. So far for the rest of the year, estimated income, it is $8,867.66, averaging at around $739 or so. We can see here that for August, the portfolio made $654.68. Very, very nice, with 10 cents of that in interest payments. Now, if we actually compare this to the previous August, going back to 2020, we can see that this is actually the highest one. August of 2020, the portfolio generated around $16.89. August of 2021, $100.05. 2022, we got $304.32. In 2023, $378.84. 2024, $444.80. And the most recent, August 2025, $654.68. Again, that nice curvature, as you guys can see by that graph, shows the compounding effect of dividend accumulation. But now looking into the future, into the next 12 months, we could see that the portfolio changes drastically. For starters, the estimated income, it is now $10,902. This was a lot higher, but again, I did have to make some sells, which is why this thing is much lower. But yeah, $10,902 with an average of around $908.51. Now, when it comes to September, this month, guys, which we're currently in, is going to be insane. Because remember, March, June, September, December is the end of the quarter. Most companies pay out during these months. And if we actually take a look at September, we can see that the portfolio is estimated to generate $1,350.45, which would be the highest the portfolio has ever made. I mean, looking back at the previous Septembers, last year, we could see that it generated at around $1,023, as you guys could see right there. So it is going up by about $300, more than $300 in just 1 year when it comes to September of this year. Not to mention that March, June, September, December, this will always remain, or roughly should remain, at around this $1,300 mark. So I will be very much looking forward to September, seeing that September is going to be absolutely nuts, right? It usually always is. So I will be updating all of you guys on the 15th, halfway through the month of September, as well as at the end. And then we'll take a look at the whole entire quarter, because let's face it, this quarter is going to be one of the highest. It's going to be, you're going to see a very, very large exponential growth from this quarter, from the previous quarter to this quarter, and even on the yearly as well. So it'll be really, really interesting. So if you guys would like to see that, make sure to like, subscribe, comment. It really does help over the algorithm here on YouTube, as well as Rumble. Make sure to follow us on X at Fatal Investing. And of course, if you're like join us on the Discord, the link to that is in the description below. So with that said, guys, peace out, and we will see you all next time.